I'll just quickly introduce my next speaker, and she's been here on the stage already. Our beautiful Petra from ATL, and she's the head of sales. Let's be excited. She just gave us fabric. And she'll be talking about networking, a very, very important part of our lives. So please, let's be ready for her.
Thank you very much, Jifa. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon. I think I have the easiest slot because I've just given you cloth. I mean, you're excited. All my jitters have run out of the window. I'm not scared anymore. I'm feeling hyped and pumped and energetic, isn't it? So this is a tactic as well. Do nice things before you give a speech. And then everybody likes you, isn't it? Okay. Amma, thank you very much for inviting me. So I'm here in two capacities. One, I'm Amma's friend, and then two, I'm team lead for Akosombo Textiles, and we're partners for this event. So thank you very much. This is a wonderful thing that you're doing. So on the 31st of May 2019 was the first time we had Obaasima, and on that day, I put something on Facebook, and the post was Joyce Bawa Mokhtari. That was the post, and I said, wow. If there's anybody here who is skilled at fishing out people's posts, you can go and fish out my post for 31st of May 2019. That was my comment, Joyce Bawa Mokhtari, wow. And I made that post because that was my first time of seeing her face to face and listening to her voice. When Sewa was talking about voice, she also has that type of voice that when you hear her voice, you want to sit down and listen. And I couldn't help myself. I just posted Joyce Bawa Mokhtari, wow. And I had people come into my inbox and ask me, what did she do? What's going on? But I'm telling you this story because from that point to today, when Auntie JB walked in, she actually recognized me, and she spoke to me, and I felt like $1 million. Because in the 2 years since, so 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, since then, I have been very intentional of ensuring that the next time I meet Mrs. Joyce Bawa Mokhtari, she will remember me. So yes, I've been stalking you, Auntie JB. But this is my story because I want to talk to you about networking. Very often, we discount the power of our network and our social capital. A lot of the things you want to achieve and you want to be, you would achieve by people. Our second speaker talks about using the power of people to achieve your goals. But when we talk about networking and social capital, for some reason in Africa, we think about it from a very negative standpoint. So we say things like, who you know. You can't get a job if you don't know someone. And the only reason that person got that opportunity was because they knew someone. In other jurisdictions and in other cultures, there's very little derogation around the term. And I need that we begin to think about it more in positive terms rather than in negative terms. So today I'm going to talk to you about networking and why it's important and why you need to be intentional about what you do. And so the word network is going to be my framework. So NETWORK. So for each of those letters, there's something I want you to remember. Deal? I'm not giving you anything after. But you would really, really need this. And I say this as something I have practiced, okay? And something that has worked tremendously for me. I told you the funny story about Auntie Joyce and how I felt so cool and so nice that she even remembered my face and said hello, okay? But it goes much, much, much beyond that. So let's start with networking. The N. If you're thinking about building a network, think primarily, or the starting point should be new. N for new friends, new acquaintances, new interactions new. And I say new because it sounds like a very simple thing, but for a lot of us in this room, we don't know how to make friends. And we don't want to make friends. We say things like, oh, I'm very shy. And in Ghana, we even add to it, I'm very humble. I don't like to talk. And some of us, when we're leaving home for school, our parents told us things like, hey, be very careful, oh. When you go, friends, don't go and make friends. Just be quiet. Remember where you're coming from. By all means, remember where you're coming from. But you need to make new relationships. In building your network, think about new. Think about how am I going to make new relationships. The university is a wonderful place, and I was here. UG, where are you? So I patched level 100, I was Nore. At the time, we did in, out, out, in. So level 100, you're supposed to pick, if you get a room, you get in. I picked no. I didn't get a room. So I was Nore for level 100. Level 200 too, there's no room for level 200 at the time. So I patched in Ekwafo Hall. So I love Ekwafo Hall people because they took me in. Level 200 and 300, that's why I pitched. And then 400, I went to my real hall, which was Legon Hall. But think about this. The university or even secondary school, anytime you have an opportunity where you're in the midst of people, that's an opportunity to make new friends. So we've been here, some of you have been here since 12, some of you have been here since 11. Do you know the person you're sitting beside? Do you? Lady Vera, do you know the person you're sitting beside? You've been sitting by him for 4 hours. Sir, please, you know her? No. Okay. When you attend an event, it's an opportunity to make new friends. And it doesn't have to be 10 people, it doesn't have to be 20 people, it doesn't have to be 50 people. It can be the one person that you're sitting beside. And you don't necessarily have to know everything about them. I know some of us, when we meet you the first time, we can pour all our life history on you and all our family problems. But the starting point is introduce yourself. And I am severely introverted. So when I tell you introduce yourself, I am talking from the perspective of someone who has struggled so much with that. But I've come to realize that the more you practice it, the better you become at it. So what I do at events is anybody I sit beside, if you enter the room and you sit beside me, I will look at you and I will say hello. Hi, my name is Petra. What's your name? My name is Amma. Pleased to meet you. I will not continue talking about anything. That's just the starting point. But it softens, it begins a relationship. It softens the conversation. So we tend to attend a lot of events, but we leave without knowing anyone. And I spoke about introversion because if you're naturally introverted like me, you would struggle with, no, I don't want to mention my name. I don't want anybody to know me. When I was starting out in sales, and I've had for the last 15 years, most of the work I've done has been in the commercial environment, so sales, business development, marketing. And at the beginning, I would walk into a room and I would literally want to run away. Literally, I would want to run away. I just don't want to be in the midst of all those people. And I know Amma will be wondering, is this all true? Because for as long as she's known me, I've always been a chatterbox. But that tells you that in spite of the public appearance of something, you might be rumbling, your stomach might be rumbling and churning, but you still have to try and do it. So introduce yourself, meet new people. That's the first thing you need to think about in networking. The university is a wonderful opportunity. It's a melting pot. I have friends now who live in different parts of the world, different parts of Ghana, people I met in the university, people I met in secondary school, even as far back as primary school. So be open. When someone sits by you in a lecture room, don't only always want to sit by your friends. You're booking seats for your friends. It's a good thing. But if you happen, you've been booking seats, eh? If you happen to sit, and I have a friend I've been friends with since I was in level 200 here in Legon, who I met by chance through another friend. You're amongst a group of chickens, you also be a chicken. If you are amongst eagles, you also be an eagle. So you look at your friends and say, none of you are doing anything. Nobody here is achieving anything. You are all chickens. I'm going to make a new group of friends. Please, your existing friendships are also important. Many years ago, I went to secondary school with Amma Pratt. There is nothing in our interaction all those years ago that would have told me that Amma Pratt would be giving me this opportunity in 2022. If I was bad, wicked, vindictive, a snob at that time, maybe Amma will still say, I think Petra can do this, but I really don't want to deal with her. So your existing relationships are important. The people you have in your life now are very key. In that social capital that we're trying to build, and when I say social capital, I mean currency. It's an exchange that you can use to do the things you want to do. So it's just like money, actually. So think about it like that. So the E is existing relationships. You start from there. Please don't discount them. T is trust. In building a network or being an effective person that builds networks, you need to be able to build trust. I think it was Baba who spoke about integrity. If you're a liar and a thief, everybody will remember you as a liar and a thief. I know people who I was in school with here in Legon who I am not surprised how they have turned out. Some of them speak, and I remember how they spoke when we were on campus. And some of them speak, and I'm not surprised that they have achieved the things they've achieved. One of such people is Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa. He was my coursemate, and I remember very well, and I always tell this story when I have the opportunity. One of our lecturers at the time, Professor Bafuatha, someone made a comment in the lecture room that he got really upset about, and he said he was not coming to our class again. And so a group of our course-mates went to try and apologize and ask him to come, and so he agreed to come back. But the first day he came back to class, Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa got up in the class and gave what I still remember as a very, very honorable speech. He articulated so clearly why, as a class, we were sorry and why the incident will never reoccur. And I remember looking at him and I was saying, wow. All those years ago, his leadership showed forth. So we remember people, and that's the thing about human beings. Even if you reform, kakra woho. So now is the opportunity, when you are young and you have the opportunity to make mistakes, be careful about the mistakes you make. Don't say that, oh, we only live once. I will do what I have to do. I don't care. I have to do what makes me happy. Young people. And it's affecting my mental health. I'm emotionally worried right now. I just have to let it out. Please. You need to build a reputation of being somebody who is trustworthy. Even to the basic things of when you attend your group meetings. If your group decides we're meeting at 12, don't be the one who wakes up at 12 o'clock and now goes to have a bath, is dressing up, and when we are calling you, there's this funny tweet I saw that when a Ghanaian says that they are on their way, they just entered the bathroom. So please build trust. It's important because your values and who you are really are what is going to help you in this journey of building your reputation and building who you want to be. W is for work. Networking is intentional work. You don't sit back and think that you're going to be able to build social capital by just sitting in your room. I like my sleep a lot. Trust me. I know how to sleep. Recently, I was telling someone that we need to understand our children so we know what motivates them and what demotivates them. When I was in secondary school, siesta was never punishment for me, Amma. Because I know how to calm myself and sleep. So for people, some of my dorm mates who didn't like to sleep, it was like siesta was punishment. But me, Obaasima, siesta was never punishment. Because I knew how to lie down, breathe, relax, and fall asleep for 1 hour. And I still know how to do it. In fact, I think I should add it to my CV as one of the things I do well. But in spite of that, there are things that you need to give up to be able to build your network. There's so many other things that you could be doing right now, or I could be doing right now. And it would be very easy for me to tell, oh, I'm sorry, I can't come. I just had a baby 8 months ago. He really needs me to be around. I can't come. But if you don't work to support the people in your network will not grow, period. I traveled all the way to my hometown of Axim in 2020. And on one of the evenings, we had an event planned. I got to the car park. The bus wasn't ready. Nobody who was going for the trip was ready. I just told my big sister, I'm going to bed, as usual. And she reported me to one of my aunties. And I got a phone call. Where are you going tomorrow morning that you're going to sleep? Do you have any appointments? And the way they screamed at me, I just got out of my bed, boko, and attended the event. And after, I said to them, thank you so much for making me do this. Because the people who I needed to meet in that trip were in that event. It wasn't in the formal meetings, it wasn't in the sit-down events, it was in the informal evening dinner far away in Axim that I met the people I really needed to meet on that trip. So work at it. It might be inconvenient. You might have to spend time and money. When you attend people's events, for instance, I'm not saying that you should attend every funeral, every wedding, but it be intentional what you do. Sometimes we do things out of fear. Twist that over and do it out of love. Out of love for the people in your network. Out of love for the people that you know. Don't say things like, oh, they say if I don't go for the funeral, when I die, they also not come for mine. No. How about you say, I really want to be there because if she sees me, she'll be very happy that I made it. That's doing it in love. So work towards it. And you can build your network to the point that it actually becomes something that you write on your CV. One of the core competencies I have on my CV is this, and I'm going to read it out to you. Networking. Ability to establish and grow strategic business relationships for mutual benefits. Has a growing business network across sectors in Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and the US. Please, if I'm looking for a job in your organization, and I come and tell you that I know people in Ghana, and I can solve problems for you because I know people in Ghana, won't I be able to tell you how much I want you to pay me? So know people. Don't just collect business cards at events and take nice pictures. Because that is what we like to do. And then when it's their birthday, we post a picture. Oh, I took a picture with Auntie JB. I took a picture with Amma Pratt. I took a picture with is it Millicent or Mercy? Millicent. That's not networking. Networking is who you know, but primarily who knows you. Because that's not the time I wanted to think about what will go wrong. But when I walked into the room and I saw all the people there, I was so overwhelmed with gratitude that I felt that there were so many reasons why they won't show up, but they still made it. And it made me take a step back. Because after that event, someone asked me, Petra, how did you get all these people here? Even Mr. Pratt, who when I even gave him the invitation, he said, I'm in book launch. But he came. And someone said to me, Petra, how did you get all these people here? And I said, I really don't know. But looking back, it's years of consistently investing in these relationships. And not necessarily thinking that I'm going to get something back. So if you call me and ask me to do something I can do, the first thing that comes to my mind isn't how much are you going to pay me. It's can I support? I'm constantly answering questions. I'm constantly getting emails. Can I support? There was a young man who I met in the building I worked in many years ago who was a security man. When I met him that day, I said to him, are you old or just an old man in a young man's body? Because he looked really tiny and really young. Apparently, he had just finished secondary school. And he was waiting, he was trying to save money to go to university. I said to him, with your security man's job, I doubt that you're going to be able to save money in any 3 years or something to go back to school. My boyfriend at the time, my husband and now, we agreed that we're going to support this young man. A few months ago, don't put this on the news. But a few months ago, I was looking for a passport for my son, my baby. This young man is now so well placed in immigration that he could get us the passport printed in 1 day. There is nothing that would have told me all those years ago that this young man would be able to support us so much years after. So don't only think about what you can get, but think about what you can give. And when there's a biblical principle, but I also believe it's a natural law that says that what you sow is what you reap. But not what you might sow something, but not reap from the same place. You might reap in different ways. So give and give as much as you can. And then you ask yourself that as a young person, what do I have to give? You have O, which is originality. What makes you you is critical. I believe one of our speakers has spoken to it. You have to decide for yourself, Ama, Akosia, Kojo, me, this human being that I'm on this earth, what am I good at? How can I create an identity for myself that makes me stand out every time my name is mentioned? What about me makes me different? And be that original. The R is for relationships. Most of our speakers have mentioned this. You have to work on those relationships. But those relationships, I've already said, are not parasitic. I remember this from JSS or SS. There are relationships, different types of symbiotic relationships. There's parasitism, which means that one person is the host and the other is the parasite. Like the relationship we have with mosquitoes. They bite us and they take our blood. What do they give us? Sickness. So what is the benefits? Except you want to skip school. That's a parasitic relationship. So if you're always in the position of receiving, you become a parasite to the people in your network. And then we say things like, oh, nobody supports me. When I post about my business, you people don't mind me. You have to support your own. Support your own. What about you? On Valentine's Day, I posted something on Facebook and I said, every day, this is your love. You're expecting. You to today give. You will not die. You won't vanish. So the R is relationship, and the K, which is the final letter, is keep at it. Don't think that it's a destination, it's a journey. You will consistently make new friends. You build relationships with existing friends. You need to be building trust. You need to realize that it's about relationships. Invest your skills. As a young person, you're asking, I don't have money. I don't have influence. What can I give? You have your time. A lot of you meet influential people and say, oh, I want you to mentor me. But what you actually mean is, I want you to help me solve all my life's problems. Think about what you really want out of that relationship, but also what do you want to give? What can you give? There are things that everybody needs. What can you give? If you say you want someone to be your mentor, they've written a book, you've never read their book. Or you've even bought the book and it's under your pillow. So when you meet them, there's nothing to talk about. I think I skipped K. K is knowledgeable. If you're going to be able to build an effective network, I believe you said it, you have to know your content. So read. Read, people. Read. Facebook is not equal to reading. Except you're reading actual books on Facebook or wherever else you are on social media. Please invest in knowledge. Pack your head with information, with knowledge, with things. Our speaker who spoke about public speaking said that it's an accumulation of years of practice and years of content. You'll be so surprised about the things that come out of your head. I was giving a lecture 2 Saturdays ago, and I remember things I learned in level 200 philosophy class in University of Ghana about how knowledge is acquired. I remembered empiricism and innatism. And I was sitting behind, and this was I left Legon 16 years ago. And I was asking myself, how do you even remember these things? That's what knowledge is. If your brain is like a sponge. If you fill it with information and good knowledge, it will come out at the right time. Not that when you're in the midst of very influential people and you open your mouth, it's all rubbish. Be knowledgeable. They'll say, oh, that one, they haven't taught us so. I'm not doing political science. I don't know what's happening in Ukraine and Russia. Now, I know so from me home. Now, me the level 100 need a family home. You need to know. So acquaint yourself with the necessary information of your environment. And beyond your environment, think of the world as your stage. Because there are young people like you in other countries who are going to be competing with you for the jobs in this country, going to be competing with you for the opportunities in this country, and globally as well. So whilst we're talking to you about interviewing skills and all that, you might be interviewing for jobs outside of Ghana. So think about that as well. Think about you as a global citizen, because that is exactly what you are. Thank you.